Part two, divas. Part two of our four-part series. Common mistakes that we make while we go out dating later in life. And I say we because I did make those mistakes. I'm bringing them to your attention. And part two of this is about, let me look at my notes, show up as fabulous you, flaws and all.
Yes.
Flaws and all. I can't stress it enough how important it is that you show up as fabulous you.
Yeah. Well, you want to put out, when you go out on a date, you want to basically put yourself out there for who you really are.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you want the same thing from the guy?
Yes.
Do you want him to be who he really is? Or do you want him to hold back, to not really let you know who he is, what he wants, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? And the fact is, no, you want him to be honest so you know where you stand. And guess what? It's very helpful if you will be honest and let him know where you stand. The first thing that popped into my mind is when Donna and her late husband Pietro were first getting together, he asked her, "What do you want?" And she said,
"Love and marriage." Now, I didn't think it was going to be with him, but I was right out there. I was like, you know what? If you're going to run now, because it's a lot less painless that way. And the other thing is with you, case in point, when we went out dating, you had shared with, actually, we didn't even go on a date yet. We were on our phone call because, phone calls are really important as part of the process. And you had shared with me that you had just lost, I don't know, like 25 or 30 pounds. And this was really important to me because I wanted to be with somebody who was at least cognizant of healthy lifestyle. Okay? And so what did I do? I went to his Facebook page and I checked out his photos. I wanted to see.
She looked at my picture. She's like, ah!
Oh my gosh, he is losing weight. Wow.
I was so happy to see that you were on the journey and I didn't have to drag you along because health-minded lifestyle is important to me.
Yeah, and you know that you can drag somebody or try to all you want. They're not going to do it.
Right.
If it's not in their heart to do something, and divas, this is part of the process of showing up as yourself.
Right.
If you come out and say something like, "I collect antique thimbles, and if there's a convention in town, I'm going. If I go every Saturday, I go here." If he's like, "Oh no, I'd hate that."
No, I might have had a conversation with you at dinner, certainly not on the phone, because I keep my phone calls to, or I kept, because I don't date anymore. We're married now. But I kept my phone calls.
Good plan.
10 to 15 minutes. And when we got to talking over dinner, which was just lovely, I might have brought up that I had chronic fatigue in the 90s, because that's important to know. I don't ever want to go back to that again, so that's why healthy eating and a healthy lifestyle is important to me. But those are the things, like you want to shine up. And if somebody says, "Oh no, I've got to go, I have to run marathons and I want my partner to run I'm not running a marathon. No. I'm not, certainly not a 26-mile one, right?
Well, you're not jumping out of airplanes.
I'm not jumping out of airplanes.
So
those are important things. So if you have something that you think is something that somebody will not want to go with you because you have it. Whether it's a disease, right? Or something you've been through, or a cancer scare, or MS, or something that you are dealing with. You want to come out and shine your stuff. Flaws, because I got news for you. We've all been through life. We all have a lot of stuff that we're dealing with. Things that we've been through, and guess what? It goes both ways. I mean, we have a little bit more. There's a lot more forgiveness. Forgiveness. Is that a word? Forgiveness.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't want to make up a word. Forgiveness.
Let's make it up anyways.
At this stage in the game.
Well, the other thing that just popped into my mind, divas, do remember this. Somewhere out there, when you show your quote-unquote flaws, there's some guy out there that's not going to be a flaw to him, and it might be a physical thing. I remember years ago, before I got married the first time, I was started to go out with this girl, and in the course of conversation, she said, "I am so embarrassed about my nose." Now, I will say, she probably had the most prominent nose I'd ever seen, let alone go out with. And I cannot tell you why, but for some reason, it just turns me on. And I said, no, I love your nose. I mean, that's one of the things that I noticed right away, and I wanted to ask you out.
Yeah, I think you're beautiful, and I love your nose.
You know, and it's funny.
And
Oh, I'm sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
I was just going to say, she was like, really?
Yeah.
Really? Really? I'm like, really,
Now,
really, really?
Isn't that fascinating? Because one of my early boyfriends, when I was in high school, had a very prominent nose, and I found it very attractive. I think it just fit his whole face.
What was
He
his name?
Very unique. And so all those fun things. I mean, people have. I mean, I know a couple, client of ours actually. She met her now husband. He had a pacemaker. That might turn somebody off. That might freak somebody out.
Yeah.
I knew another client quite a few years ago. She accepted a date with a guy, and when he showed up, he was dragging his left foot behind him. Now, I feel she still would have went out with him had he disclosed that early on.
She would have.
It's not like you can hide it. We all have stuff. So this is your time to show up, flaws and all, and either they want it or they don't want it. And that is the sifting and the sorting process of dating. Now, you can grab a link below of a freebie that I will share with you explicitly exactly what I did to find two amazing men in a row, Jeffrey, after the passing of my late husband, and also a link to my book, because you'll read that I went through the same stuff we're talking about right now. So you can grab that right below.
And it's a great read. Well, it's a great read. I tell you divas this all the time.
Also, please subscribe, leave a comment. The comments actually really, really, really help us.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate that. The algorithm picks those up and it helps us. But I just encourage you to listen to her videos, listen to what she's saying, follow her system if in fact you are looking for a special other person in your life or your one and forever after.
Right.
She will help you and show you, and it's not hard, it's not a lot of work. You got to put some work in and do it. But the last thing that we always share with you girls, remember, it doesn't have to be that hard.